I think I might have cracked the code with this one. So I'm excited to share my findings with you. As usual, I'll focus on the facts first, then I'll lean into speculation and theories surrounding the Hexenzirkel, including their ideology, history and future role in the story. Starting up from what we know so far, which mostly comes from the Windbloom Festival event. But before that, we are first introduced to the Hexenzirkel through Mona, as Mona's master is one of the few known member early on. So who are the Hexenzirkel members? The most renowned member, codename A, Klee's mother, Alice, a free-spirited adventurer. Despite her light-hearted nature, she can be mischievous at times, but I guess it's just like they say, like mother like daughter. The infamous Great Sinner of Canria, codename R, also known as Gold, Rhindaughter, a master of alchemy, the creator of the Rift Wolves, Durin and Albedo. But to her creations, she considers herself a mother. A master astrologer, Mona's master, codename B, Barbello, Barbeloth, a master of hydromancy, among others crafts. The mysterious voice, said to be a guide of sorts, codename N, Nicole. From our own admission, she is capable of some level of telepathy. She uses her telepathy to warn those who are likely in danger, as she did for us. The storyteller, codename M, Andersdotter, the creator behind many fairy tales in Teyvat. It is believed that these stories were created to record past events. With the use allegorical tales, it is possible these stories would not be affected by the Irminsul rewrites. Last to be named is Ivanovna, codename J, the lover, the widow. At some point she decided she would retire from the group, for her beloved. Moving past the members, what is there to be said about the history and activities of the group? Also, what might this mean for the future of the Hexenzirkel? Let's start with the trailer. From this trailer, we are given some insight to the Hexenzirkel. From challenging the Anemo Archon, to a pledge, to never fight amongst themselves. To maintain their friendship, despite whatever state the world was in. They would gather and have tea parties, in which they would share stories with each other. From this, they strengthen the bond between each other. The Hexenzirkel is portrayed as a sisterhood at least from Alice's perspective. But beyond this trailer, what else can we add? Well, thanks to Lisa, we know that besides tea parties, they also explore the Irminsul. The Irminsul is a sort of world tree that is connected to the ley lines, which holds all the memories, experiences and history of the world. Now it's time for speculation, starting with what it could mean to explore the Irminsul. Being that the Irminsul is basically a record of memories and events, it is possible that these explorations are little more than uncovering memories of past events. But how might this be possible, and what purpose does uncovering the past serve for the group? I believe the exploration of the Irminsul is possible through some type of interaction with the ley lines, or some sort of magic. Teleportation, warping to the Irminsul. But how could someone explore the memories and past events? Well, it could be similar to our own experience, in which we relived an event through our siblings' perspective. So what purpose would it serve to do these explorations, to experience the past? This answer could uncover the ideology of the Hexenzirkel. So what might their ideology be? While it's already been established to be a sisterhood, a secret society, that conducts Irminsul exploration, that for some unknown reason challenged Archon. Based on all these factors, what could we guess what the Hexenzirkel's purpose is? Well, besides these actions, I believe the members themselves can uncover the purpose of the group. And with this, I'd like to shine a light on the most controversial member, the Great Sinner, Rhindaughter, also known as Gold. Now, since we're in heavy speculation territory, I won't be holding back. So Gold is believed to have played a major role in the fall of Canria, as well as the war between the Eclipse Dynasty and Teyvat. Now, when you have a member like this, it could question the morality of your group. Unless Gold's past is misinterpreted by those who do not know the truth. Regardless of whatever that truth might be, she is the mother of the Rift Wolves, and Durin, a dragon, due to its misconception of itself and the world, caused chaos and destruction, which led to the Anemo Archon Barbados and Devalin defeating Durin, and from this defeat created Dragonspine. As the mother of these creations, her morality and judgment is called into question. Being that she is Canrian, like Dainsleif and Piero, who are pure bloods, she should have the curse of immortality like the others. which could lead to madness, seen in Clothar. So it goes without saying Reindadir being a member of the Hexenzirkel could mean that the Hexenzirkel isn't against the action of Reindathri, or her past. It could also be said that they overlooked due to their pledge to never fight amongst themselves, but I only mention that as a flaw in my own theory, but I don't think that pledge didn't have to do with the acceptance of gold, and this has to do with when the Hexenzirkel was likely formed. And due to gold likely becoming a member after the cataclysm, it would have been already known to the members. Also, I do believe gold's actions aren't as they seem. So what does gold being a member mean for that they're not objectively squeaky clean? Which is also shown in Alice's mischievous side, and Ivanovna, dealing with her husband. But more into Ivanovna. As I'd theorize that each member specializes in a craft that witches are known for, and I could see Ivanovna specialize in potions and poisons. Someone you'd see stirring a cauldron or mixing and testing ingredients to create her concoctions. Or she's uses curses. But Jay highlights the darker side of the Hexenzirkel like Reindadir. Now the two members that really crack the lid on my theory. Barbeloth and Nicole, both representing the spiritual aspects of the Hexenzirkel. Now Barbeloth's name is a play on the Gnostic god, Barbelo. Barbelo means to overflow or to boil over. She is the All-Mother, the triple androgynous name, the Mother-Father, and the Holy Spirit. She is Sophia, consort to Monad and mother to Yaldabaoth, the Demiurge. The false god and conqueror of the seven. Barbelo represents the feminine aspects of God. But going back to Barbeloth, besides her name, all we know is through what little Mona told us about her master and what Barbeloth said herself in the trailer. Which next to everyone besides Nicole was little to nothing and very mysterious. As for Nicole, no named member is nearly as mysterious or has interacted with us directly, besides Alice. In her interactions with us, she spoke to us in our head. Both teaching us the ways of the Irminsul and fate. In this, she tells us that fate can't be changed so easily, a god might have a slight chance, but for anyone else who's to say? It's clear to say Nicole and Barbeloth highlight the divine aspects of the Hexenzirkel. And lastly is the astrologer Mona Majestus. And this might be a stretch, but we do non-stop yoga over here, so what else do you expect? Majestus is likely a reference to Hermes Trismegistus, the creator behind Hermeticism, which is akin to Gnosticism. Both believe in duality, but Hermeticism, unlike Gnosticism, is basically heresy, paganism. A belief that the fallen one was cursed by the false god for trying to help humanity. They also see the Baphomet in a different light than others. As the Baphomet is meant to symbolize duality, God and man and beast, male-female, light and dark, holy and unholy, physical and spiritual. As the Baphomet in other beliefs is evil. And I do personally believe Mona is meant to be a clue to Trismegistus. As I do believe that the core ideology of the Hexenzirkel is based around Hermeticism. And the purpose of the Hexenzirkel is like every other faction. The Fatui challenges Celestia to take control of Teyvat. The Abyss Order challenges Celestia to engulf the throne, which is possible destroy Teyvat's. And I believe the Hexenzirkels intends to challenge fate, and by doing so, are at odds with those who dictate the fate and true nature of the world. As besides us, who else was giving this mission? Albedo by Reindadir upon finding the heart of Nibirius. So what does fate, Hermeticism, and exploring the ley lines have to do with the purpose? The aim of the Hexenzirkel. I believe that when Nicole spoke of a god having a slight chance, she had a god in mind. But what does she qualify as a god, and what does she qualify as anyone else? I believe anyone else includes us and anyone with a vision. But when she spoke of a god, I believe this comes from their exploration of the ley lines. Who did I say was possibly a part of the ley lines? When the second who came challenged the primordial one, they used abyssal powers that damaged the land, but more importantly, the second was a descender, the invader, but the goddess of flowers says that the invaders brought war. Implying this was not one entity, but a force, and I don't believe this force was one higher being in its army, but two beings and their armies, specifically the two heirs of the Battle Pass cutscene. I believe the first heir was defeated and was indoctrinated into becoming the heavenly principles of Celestia, and the second heir was betrayed by the Moon Sisters, but spared by them as well, by hiding him in the deepest parts of the ley lines. I believe the second to be the Light Prince and the Sinner. The Hexenzirkels is counting on his resurrection to stop the Celestia. But here's the catch. So is the Abyss. So what separates the Abyss from the Hexenzirkel? Revenge, misguided ideals. As where the Abyss Order is still seeking knowledge, the Hexenzirkel has already obtained such knowledge. It is why Nicole speaks with such certainty. So the purpose of the Hexenzirkel is hope that the fate of Teyvat might change. But without some outside force, that's just not possible, and so they focus on each other, cakes and tea, stories and games. The bond between each other. Because regardless of fate of the world, they will always support each other. As for the sinner, he is not a part of the Abyss Order. He was nothing more than the spark that created the Abyss Order, the drive to challenge Celestia. This comes from the willingness to cause chaos and destruction, evidence to prove the truth of Celestia, and this stems down to the first Abyss story mission, The Pale Princess and Six Pygmies. Possibly created by none other than Anders' daughter herself, in which these stories are allegories of actual past events. If they are searching for truth in such a book, created by a member of the Hexenzirkel, then this further proves the Hexenzirkel is far ahead of everyone. The only flaw is our sibling, who knows the truth of this world, but does the Abyss? And who else? Skirk, and did Gold always know? But was that artifact necessary for Albedo to start his own path towards the truth? Was that what she meant when she said she's raising her son? Was all their time together teaching him and preparing him for his final mission, to find the truth? Speaking of truths, the story is likely obtaining enlightenment at the end. Well, that's all. I pretty much covered everything for the overarching story, so I guess I'll just guess about little stuff from now on, lol. Back to Varka speculation. I've struggled with this one because it can go deep, far deeper than necessary. I want to tackle Istaroth and Celestia next.